A woman doesn't fall in love with you when she's with you. She falls in love with you when she's alone thinking about you. If you can get her thinking about you when you're not around, you can make her fall in love with you. She was interested, and she probably still is a little interested, but she's waiting for the guy that she was interested to show up, not the guy that, killed the mystery, killed the tension, killed it all.
The confession puke guy.
The confession puke. Did you ever watch a cat play with a piece of string? The string is dangling around, and that cat will look at it and it'll chase it. And you can just keep dangling it, and you can have that cat chasing it forever. But the minute you drop that piece of string on the ground, the cat looks at it for a second, gets bored, and walks away. Well, women are the same exact way. No woman wants a sure thing. You have to be the dancing string.
So what about the guys who maybe they already blew it? I mean, if they sent that desperate text, is it over for them?
No. I found one text, 9 simple words that can send it, and it gets her reaching out, and it makes it feel like her idea. And it will get her to meet up with you.
Hey there, my name is Lexi, and my guest today is an expert in female psychology and created a system designed to have a woman chasing you instead of the other way around. He's promised to share exactly how it works with us today and show us how you can turn even the coldest girl into your loving, loyal girlfriend following just a few steps. In fact, his specialty is getting nice guys out of the friend zone and transforming them into the guy women chase for a relationship. And if you've had a woman pull away when she seemed to like you, he's going to explain the real reason it happens and how you can turn it around and have her think it was her idea to pursue you again. I've got to know, what is the confession puke?
Every guy watching this probably knows what it is. He may not refer to it that, but I can almost guarantee he's done it. As a guy, when you develop feelings for a woman, whether she's a female friend or a woman you dated and it's been a month of dating her, everything is going good, and then she starts losing interest and you start panicking. We've all been in this situation. The first thing that goes through the average guy's mind, and it went through my mind many times over the years, is I have to let her know how I feel. So the woman is backing off. She's maybe not sure how she feels about him, and he thinks the answer is to puke his feelings about her on her lap, whether it's a text they send. Some guys have sent me included, a long mushy email, and it never works. And as much times as I tell them it doesn't work, chances are somebody out there is going to make it again and think it's going to work this time.
So you just referenced your own mushy email that you sent. Tell me the story. Do you have a confession story?
Yeah, a lot of this all started with probably one of the worst cases. I call it emotional quicksand. It's when you're in that state of just thinking about her, obsessing about her. You're analyzing her messages. You're reviewing like everything that happened with your friends, like it's the playbook of a football game and every move she made. And I was in that situation. I had a female friend, Robin, and we wound up kissing one night. To me, it was like stars aligned, the heaven. And I just thought, I won the game, right? I just assumed, okay, like now she's gonna be my girlfriend. And the first few days, we were texting and everything's good. And then all of a sudden, a Friday comes and I text her, can't wait to see you. No response. And then Saturday comes and I'm looking at my phone. No, I think is my phone broken? What's going on? I have my friends, can you just call me to make sure that I'm getting texts? And Sunday comes, still nothing. And I'm panicking, at this point I'm just like, cause I was already picturing what our kids were gonna look like. I had the whole relationship mapped out in my head. And somewhere between Sunday and Tuesday morning, I decide that she doesn't know how much I like her. Maybe she thinks that I still see her as a friend and she's nervous. So I go to the florist and I buy literally the most expensive bouquet of flowers that you can imagine. And then I have the brilliant idea of sending them to her work with a card that I cringe thinking about what I wrote in that card. And then, I waited around all day. I knew they were going to be delivered about 5 o'clock. So I'm at home and I'm just pacing around, just waiting for her to call and go, oh my God, this is so amazing. And I think about 6 p.m. I get a text. That was sweet, thanks. And then I'm like, oh, okay, all right. So then I go, well, hey, no problem. You want to hang out tonight? I'm kind of tired. And that was the start of a 2-month spiral. It was a brutal 2 months, but it taught me so much. And it was sort of a wake-up call that, like, I don't know what I'm doing here, and I got to figure this out. Spent the next year after that figuring a lot of it out and still making mistakes, but learning, adjusting, and really understanding.
So now you teach guys things that they can do to where they don't do the confession puke, they don't do the spiral. But what about people who say she's either attracted to you or she's not? I mean, you can't make someone be attracted to you.
I think a lot of people don't really understand how a woman actually falls in love. What I always tell guys is a woman doesn't fall in love with you when she's with you. She falls in love with you when she's alone thinking about you. So if you can get her thinking about you when you're not around, you can make her fall in love with you.
But what if you're just not her type? I mean, is there a limit to what techniques can do?
For a woman, when she finds herself falling for a guy, maybe he's older than her, maybe he's just not the typical guy she goes for, when she's thinking about him, women, we all do this. We backward rationalize, right? And we try to look for the reason. And when she goes, oh, he's older than I usually go for, or he's different, this must be some mysterious chemistry that I'm feeling.
So you say you can't be the nice guy. Does that mean you have to be a jerk to get women attracted to you?
Absolutely not. A lot of guys think it's like being nice is why girls don't like nice guys. But girls, of course they like nice. Everybody likes being around somebody who's nice. It's not the niceness that ruins a woman's attraction. It's the predictableness. It's that your nice behavior comes across as very similar to every other guy's behavior, and it becomes very predictable. And the way I describe it to guys is, if you ever watch a cat play with a piece of string, and the string is dangling around, and that cat will look at it and it'll chase it, and you can just keep dangling it, and you can have that cat chasing it forever. But the minute you drop that piece of string on the ground, the cat looks at it for a second, gets bored, and walks away. Well, women are the same exact way. And too many guys, it's not the niceness, it's the being too easy to catch, being a sure thing. No woman wants a sure thing, right? There's no fun in that. There's no buildup. There's no anticipation when immediately you give your hand away and it's like, oh, I've got this guy. So when guys go, I don't want to have to be a jerk, I say, you don't have to be a jerk. You have to be the dancing string. You have to be the guy that she can't quite predict, so she's always leaning in. She's always wanting to know more. She's always chasing.
All right, so what about the guys who maybe they already blew it? I mean, if they sent that desperate text, I mean, is it over for them?
No. You can make extremely big mistakes. I had a client that I was working with, John, and he had dated some woman, made every mistake in the book. And then she friend zoned him, and I didn't hear from him for a little bit. This was maybe in October. And then I followed up with him, and I'm like, how's it going? She invited me over for Thanksgiving. We're dating now. Here's the thing I always tell guys too. It's like, you're going to give it another shot. Like, meaning, if you have a woman you're not going to just not try something. So if you're going to try something that works. Try a system that actually works. Even Rob, you've met my partner Rob. His now wife, Adriana, had broken up with him, put him in the friend zone, was dating somebody else, as somebody actually a lot richer than him. And he got her back, and now they're married.
I like this idea that she was already attracted to you. There was already something there. These aren't just random women on the street. There was already something there that maybe was lost. So how do you get that back? I like that idea.
And she was interested, and she probably still is a little interested, but she's waiting for the guy that she was interested to show up, not the guy that, killed the mystery, killed the tension, killed it all.
The confession puke guy.
The confession puke.
Okay, so is this just about kind of playing hard to get, maybe acting like you're not interested?
No, I think that's a mistake. And it was a mistake I made like for years, because I'm naturally introverted. So for me, when I heard like, oh, just act like you're not interested, girls like that.
You were like, that's easy.
Yeah, it was easy. I was going to stand in the corner at the party anyway. So this is exactly what, right? She's not even noticing. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about tapping into something that we call romantic tension. It's going back to the cat and the string metaphor. She wants the dancing string. It's about being the dancing string that gets her attention and then leads her into wanting more, giving her a little bit, but never the full amount that keeps her attention. Like I said, we teach this technique called the Scrambler, and we walk you through certain steps. It's all about the effort. The more effort she starts putting in, trying to figure you out, trying to get to know you, trying to go, maybe I misjudged this guy too quickly. I'll give you an example. Have you ever had maybe a coworker that every time they come into work, hey, Lexi, how you doing? Maybe a male coworker. And you kind of know this guy is like flirting a little bit. And then one day he comes in and he kind of doesn't say hi to you.
Yeah, kind of ignores you.
You're just like,
what happened?
You're like, what?
Did I
do something? Like what? And you start thinking about him, right? It's just like, and that is like a trigger. It doesn't make you automatically like him, and that's not what we're saying. The Scramblers have steps, but that guy at least has your attention again, right? Because you're thinking, what happened? What did I do? And it works extremely fast. But the mistake a lot of guys make is they think, and I see this all the time because we have a community with guys who are going through and they get so excited because they're like, she's text, she wants to hang. And I go, you have her attention. She's not, you're still in step one. You didn't win anything. The game's not over. She's actually feeling you out now. And the worst thing you can do at this point is go, hey, jump back
all in. Yeah.
Lexi came over to my desk. This worked. Hey, Lexi, you want to go out to dinner tonight? No, that will ruin everything. That's why everything is a process. You got to go one step to the next until you've completed the whole cycle.
So the pattern interrupt is really about bringing that tension back.
The whole scrambler itself, the whole technique we teach is turning romantic tension into love, turning it into a long-term relationship, attachment. But it all starts with this romantic tension.
Okay, give me a couple of examples of how you do that.
So we teach a lot of them in here, but I'll give you a couple that are very simple ones that are easy to explain. So let's go back to the guy at your work, and you kind of know this guy. We've maybe had a drink together. I wasn't that into him, but he's still coming around. He's still into me. And then all of a sudden you're talking to him one day and you do something and he goes, Lexi, you're a great friend. And now you're like, friend? He just called me a friend. Like, what is that?
He
right?
friend-zoned me.
He friend-zoned me, right? It's like, wait, he thinks of us as friends. There's other subtle things like even just something as simple as who's leaning in. So if I'm talking to a woman and I'm really into her and she's not that into me or I'm trying harder, my whole body language, and you can watch it, go out to a bar, go out anywhere, and you'll see one person is leaning in, right? And it's like the person leaning in is the one who's trying to impress, trying to gain approval, trying to win the other person over. So one of the things I always tell guys is like, start leaning back and getting her to have to lean in. It's very subconscious, but it's like one of those things that just the physical act of her finding herself leaning in, getting her to do you a favor. It's also just something she probably wasn't expecting, which again, gets her attention.
So what about a man complimenting a woman? I mean, should he not?
There's a limit in the sense of, yes, you need to compliment women, but you need to do it the right way. And most guys, I can guarantee, are not complimenting a woman in a way that creates any additional interest on her part. The average guy will compliment her looks. He'll compliment, oh, you're cool. I like hanging out with you. And sure, I mean, she's heard that from a million other guys, but what we teach in the program is something called the golden mirror. And what we tell them is that if you're going to compliment her, a surface level compliment, actually, it's essentially flattery. And nobody really likes flattery because it's like you didn't earn it. Everything, again, it's about earning. You want her working for your approval. If you're telling her she has nice eyes, did she do anything for that? I mean, she was born with them. Getting validation from somebody that we don't respect that much doesn't really feel anything. So that's why part of it is withholding it a little bit. And when you do compliment her, you do it in this technique that we call the golden mirror. And when you start giving a woman these type of compliments slowly, if you dump them all on her, they lose effect because you always want to, it's almost like a breadcrumb. Right? You always want her chasing the next compliment, the next thing. Now that she's got a taste of these compliments and he sees me this way, it becomes addicting to be around you. And the guy has to refrain from constantly doing it because then it loses its value. There's some guys that go, that's mean, or why do I have to, like, I don't want to treat women that way. But really what you're doing is you're setting the stage to give her a compliment that then means 100 times more. And if you're watching this, especially what I just went over with the golden mirror. If you're watching this and you don't actually like the woman, do not use this on her because she will get attached. You will mess with her head. You don't want to use this on a woman unless you're pretty sure you at least want to give it a serious shot.
Yeah. So what if some situations are just a little bit different? What if she has like some baggage from her last relationship? She doesn't want to mess up the friendship.
I've found that's all excuses for her not feeling it. I think a lot of guys will say she's different. Every guy thinks she's different. I can't tell you how many times I heard she's different. And I can tell you that there are very few situations where she's different. When you're feeling it, all of those objections just evaporate. Yeah. Another mistake I think guys make, so many guys will go, Bobby, she chased her last boyfriend was like always hanging out with his friends and she just was with him for 5 years and she's obsessed with them and like she just like complained how he never gave her attention. So I'm texting her every day because I don't want to be like him. I'm like, he just told me she was obsessed with him for 5 years.
Right.
I'm like, you're doing the opposite of what works.
Yeah, no,
she gave you the blueprint for what works. Yeah. And you go, I'm going to do the opposite because I don't want to be like that. I'm in the friend zone. I think being in the friend zone is literally the easiest situation. Like, there's a lot of guys that come to me and there's a level of difficulty in turning it around, right? You went on one date with her a year ago and she lives in Kentucky and you live in New York. It's really tough to turn that around.
Yeah.
You're friends with her and you talk to her on a regular basis. That's not hard because you have, she's already comfortable. You know she likes you as a person. The only thing that's missing is that tension, that attraction.
So you mentioned a little bit before that there is a certain amount of work to this.
Yeah.
How much work are we talking?
So what we teach, it's a technique called the Scrambler. And it's way more about subtraction than it is about addition. Meaning you're doing a lot of things that are hurting your chances with a woman that you don't even realize. The average guy is doing things that he does not realize is taking a woman who probably would have experienced attraction and he's cutting his own legs off. A guy in my community this morning got a date with a girl and he asked in our community, should I bring her flowers on the first date? Right there, he would have made a mistake. Most women are gonna be like, that's a little weird. This guy's taking it a little bit seriously. So just not bringing the flowers already gets him a little bit better than he would have been. A lot of it is just pointing out, all right, these are all the things that you just shouldn't do. What we show you is, all right, this is how most guys respond to the situation. This is how she's probably expecting you to respond. But when you respond like this, you draw her in a little bit more.
Catches her off guard.
Catch her a little bit more. You got to lead her back into attraction, right? I use the term lead. It's like you're not playing games, you're leading. She doesn't know what she wants. You're leading her into that feeling again. The hardest part is it's counterintuitive, okay? And you have to wrap your mind around what I think should work is not necessarily what works. And what my gut is telling me I should do, you should at least be like, listen, my gut has not made the best decisions for me.
Okay, so how does a guy avoid looking desperate?
Yeah, so it all ties back because it is a fear. You went out on a few dates with her, you felt it, she ended it, but you don't have a way to reach out to her.
Yeah.
So what we found one text. It's nine simple words that when you send her, you can send it and it gets her pursuing you, but it gets her reaching out and it makes it feel like her idea. Now, a lot of guys will say, Bobby, well, what's the text? Here's why I'm not going to tell you the text. Because if you don't know the entire thing, you do not want to waste this text without because she will respond. You will get your chance. But if you don't know what to do afterwards, you are going to blow it. I used to give it to guys and then they would immediately run. And now even in the program, I have a big warning thing when guys go through the program. This is when you understand this text is designed to get her reaching out to you and it will get her to meet up with you. But if you show up as the same nice guy that she wasn't attracted to, this text will not do anything.
Yeah.
This text is your way back in.
It's
right?
your one chance. Don't waste it.
Yeah, it's the way you get back in. And not only does it get you back in, it gets it back in a way where it's like her pursuing it, right? And I know this from experience of coaching guys. I know it from myself. You're always going to want closure on it. You're always going to want to know, like, could I have done it differently? We all have the one who got away. And if you're going to give it a shot, you want to do it right. Sometimes a woman is worth fighting for. You know, Rob, my partner, I mentioned earlier, his now wife had slipped away and this is where the text came from. He used it and then he started showing clients and they started using it and he's now married to Adriana. She was worth fighting for. And a lot of women are worth fighting for. They're worth putting in the effort. And if you're going to put the effort in, do it right.
How does a guy know if he's doing the program, if he's working on stuff, how does he know if it's working?
So one of the things we're very clear on when we go through the program is we almost give you a checklist of each step. When you notice her attention is going to be a step. Then there is paying attention to testing. I mentioned testing briefly, but the funny thing is when it starts working, she starts testing you more.
Yeah.
Because she wants to know, is this real? Is this guy really changed? But you're ready for them, right? Now that you know it exists, now that we show you how to handle them, you're ready for them. So I'll give the guys one of my favorite ones. And this is a thing where you're talking to a woman, and maybe she says, it could be anything, right? Like, oh, you're a Yankee fan? I love the Yankees. And you give her like a little high five. Okay. And you leave your hand there for a second. You let your hand linger.
Okay.
And if she's feeling it, it's like clockwork. She'll let her hand linger. Yeah. If she wants to send you the message that she's not into you, she'll quickly pull that away. Now, it's a very innocent thing. She has no clue what you just did. Like, you're not like grabbing her, you're not pulling her. I call it the kiss test. You just literally let your hand linger and see what she does. And guys write in all the time. It works. It's pretty accurate. So that's one of them. We give a bunch of different ones throughout the different phases.
Yeah, no, that's a really, what a great test. And you talked about that this is a training. There's several steps involved. Why can a man not just do those by himself?
If you take what I said right here, right, you go, okay, Bobby said I have to change. You could do it by yourself, right? I mean, technically, yeah. But why would you? If you're going after the woman that you see her as like wife potential, why would you wing it when you have something that works?
Yeah.
Why would you wing it when you can not only have access to the steps that to know when it's working, to what to do, but also to a community of guys that before you do something, you can go, hey guys, I'm just checking in. Sure, you can try, but if you're really serious about a woman, as serious as you're saying you are, then why not do it right? Why not follow it? Why not have accountability? Why not have a camaraderie of guys who have been in your shoes, who have made it work? One of the things that you might have to do is a blackout. This is where you just cut contact. Some guys just naturally, I'll just do no contact. But there's a right way and there's a wrong way to do it. Again, I've been coaching for 20 years and I've seen all the patterns. It's these subtle elements. That's where the game is won or lost. It's not the big moves. It's the subtlety to the moves. Now you've given her the compliments. Now she's on the hook. I'm feeling it. This is very often where guys blow it because they go, I got it. I got her. But what happens? You just drop the string right in her lap. So phase 4 is all about extending it, building the anticipation, doing these things where it's like, okay, I've got her, but to make her really fall for me, I got to keep the string just out of reach. I got to get her investing more. That's what we walk you through. And there's 12 techniques that we talk about in that section. If he's just creating the tension, leaning in, and it feels like her going, I really want to kiss him right now, it's way different. So that's what they learn in this. And guys always say, well, how long does it take to go through these? And it depends. It's like some guys can get, I had a guy who went through the Scrambler and it was like a Tuesday. And by like Friday, he's like, she just told me she wants to be his girlfriend. If it's a woman that you're dating who's like kind of pulling back, that situation pretty quickly. If it's a female friend, could take a little longer.
All right, so you've talked a lot about the program, but tell me, what exactly is it? Like, what does it contain?
So we have, as I mentioned several times, we have a community, and within the community, it's a course. And they initially get 6, I call them reset videos. These are things designed to get them very quick wins. So they go through it, they come in, and it's like, boom, boom, boom. These are like immediate things they can put into action. And so they go through that, and that just gets them the quick wins. The really powerful part of it is just access to coaches inside the community who are there to help you out, to help you implement it. And you now have this blueprint of like, okay, I know my next move now. I don't have to worry about it.
What if it doesn't work?
So there's 2 things. One is we give a 100%, no questions asked, money back guarantee. So from that perspective, you have nothing to lose. In fact, I have way more to lose than you do because I'm taking the risk there. Everything you're doing is under the radar. So there's no risk of embarrassment. There's no like, oh my God, I'm going to look so dumb doing this. Everything you're doing is so subtle that anybody watching would not know you were doing something. So from that perspective, a guy has absolutely nothing to lose. Now, again, you have nothing to worry about. If you don't like it, you can refund it, but I don't think you will. I think they're going to like it.
Yeah,
I've been
your
doing this.
track record proves.
I wouldn't be doing this as long as I've been doing it, and as successful as I have been at doing it. If I didn't have guys, getting results, I would have been out of business in 2009.
Right. Okay, so we talked about what it is, why guys should give it a try, and so tell me the brass tacks. I mean, what does this cost?
So we charge $79, which is,
wow.
I think, like I said, it's like, to me, for everything they get and for the chance to turn everything around with a woman, it's literally the less than the cost of dinner for 2. And once you're inside the community itself, you will see the guys who've already had success with it. So there really is no risk to this. And not only that, we've also included some bonuses for guys who get in because we just wanted to give everything that they're going to need. So one of the bonuses is one of our coaches, Chris. We've mentioned sexual tension and this idea of tension, but he teaches something called invisible escalation. He walks you through the seductive moves that begin to create this. We have another one is all about trigger words, right? These are just fun words that create sort of a sexualized element to a conversation.
Okay.
We have an entire re-engagement text. I mentioned the 9-word text. We don't just give you the text because, as I mentioned, it's a sequence. You send the text, what she writes back, you're going to do a certain thing that's going to draw her in. Then you're going to wait and you're going to do something else. And we map out that entire sequence in one of the bonuses. So I just encourage guys, if you've got a woman that you've got your eye on and you don't want to think back in a few years like, what if I had just given it a shot? Like, just give it a shot. Like, you've got nothing to lose.
Yeah, $79, and you can always even get that money back if it doesn't work out.
Yeah, you really have nothing to lose.
All right, Bobby. Well, thank you for sharing all of that with us. All right, guys. Well, I hope you learned something too, and I hope you go check out Bobby Rio. And why not give it a chance? You have nothing to lose.
Yeah, thank you for having me, Lexi. This has
Yeah.
been fun, guys. And yeah, reach out if you have any questions.